Welcome to the first episode of the Club 100 show. Today we will explain a guide to a very interesting airdrop, and we will talk about the likely denial of an ETF on Bitcoin. Will Bitcoin break through the $30,000 mark? We will see. First of all, let's take a look at one of the last news that is attracting attention. John Reed Stark, former head of the SEC Office of Internet Enforcement, recently made a tweet from his personal profile in which he specifically says, "My take is that the current SEC will not approve a Bitcoin spot ETF application for a range of compelling reasons." However, Stark shared that if a Republican wins the White House in 2024, the SEC will likely decrease its crypto enforcement efforts and become far more receptive to approving a Bitcoin spot ETF and far more likely to take other significant crypto-friendly regulatory actions. There will be an election in November 2024, so it is certainly worthwhile to monitor the situation in the US. And it is not an exaggeration to say that this could strongly impact an eventual arrival of a bull market. In fact, I think this currently is the most important thing to keep an eye on. This week, I'm sure there will be volatility in the markets because there are some very important items that will be announced. And on Wednesday is the Federal Reserve meeting, where I think one thing that can be confirmed is that interest rates have peaked and will not be raised further. Based on the content of this discussion, I will look at the employment statistics and the CPI data announced recently and see what happens going forward. Let's now take a look at the Bitcoin chart and try to understand the situation in which we find ourselves. Let's start directly with the 4-hour time frame, and we can immediately see that the price has been in this range for a long time now. In fact, if we plot the data range, we can see that since the last pump, it has been about 2 months of time. So we are in heavy accumulation, and everyone is wondering whether the price will go up or down. Obviously, no one has the correct answer, but by checking the chart, we can see some things that can help us in better understanding some critical points. Going to plot the volume profile for the last 2 months, we can see that the POC within this range is about towards $30,250. This level is extremely important because it shows us how there has been the highest trading volume at that point in the last period, and we can see from the price action that initially for about a month it played the role of support, then it was broken to the downside and now play the role of resistance. This means that there have been a lot of short positions on that level lately and that there could probably be more if it is retested. Although right now the sellers seem to be ahead, however, the price is staying within a range below the POC. Remember that a level, whether support or resistance, the more times it is touched, the weaker it becomes, so the strength of the sellers could diminish over time if the POC is retested a few more times. The perfect scenario for buyers, on the other hand, is a situation in which the price breaks the POC strongly and then tests it and restarts towards new highs. So we will see this week what will happen, and if also the various news and especially the Federal Reserve meeting can be decisive for the direction of Bitcoin price. Now, I would like to tell you about Scroll, a Zk VM Layer 2 of Ethereum currently in the testnet phase. The team has not yet confirmed the issuance of a token, but if there will be, I'm sure the possibility of airdrop would be very high, and all those people who help test the protocol will definitely be rewarded. Always, I recommend using a new wallet for this type of operation and not using the one where perhaps you keep your funds. We at Club 100 drafted a guide as early as a few months ago, but over time, other actions have been implemented that we can do that can move us up in the rankings of those eligible for airdrop, if there ever is one. This guide is up to date as of today, mid-August 2023, and if there are other actions to be implemented in the future, we will notify users on our Discord and Telegram channels whose links you can find in the description. Let's get started. First, we add the Gurley and Scroll Alpha testnet networks on our MetaMask. Next, we need to get some testnet tokens. There are various platforms where to request them. In the guide, we put a very good one. Now we will need to bridge our Ethereum on Gurley network to Ethereum on Scroll testnet network. I recommend to do also the opposite to have an additional interaction. The procedure can take up to 10 minutes, and if it gives you an error, go to MetaMask settings, delete the Scroll testnet, and reinstall it by running step 1 of our guide again. Let's test the SyncSwap platform by doing some swaps for USDC and back, and then in the pools section add liquidity to the USDC-ETH pair. Now we move to the Aave platform, where we can claim many test tokens that we can use later for supply and borrow. We now use Izumi's platform to do more swaps and add liquidity to the USDT-WETH pair. Before proceeding with the other interactions, you can already start taking your OG role on Scroll's Discord. To do this, you will need to connect your socials and connect Discord. One important thing is that Twitter is accepted only if it was opened before October 2022. Once everything is done, you should receive the Scroll OG role in a few hours. Now let's buy and add some liquidity on Uniswap to tokens created by the Scroll community. And then go to the pool section and add liquidity to the pair of tokens you just bought. Next, we will go to the Catalyst Exchange platform and make several swaps, even between different chains. But one of them must be Scroll Testnet. Some transactions may give error, and others may take a long time, but we will go ahead anyway. On Zeta Finance, we will use the L2 bridge in both ways, and then we will do some swaps and add liquidity here as well to the tokens we prefer. Now we move to the Dodo platform where, if we can, we will do some swaps and subsequently provide liquidity to the pairs we want. On Mez Protocol, we will request some USDC and then move to the trading section to do some spot buying and selling, either in limit and market order. We will now perform the mint of two NFTs. The first is the Scroll RoboPix NFT, while the second is the Scroll Galleons. There are only a few steps left, and one of them is to deploy a contract and issue a token. The steps are very simple and clearly explained in our guide. The last step is on the Omni Kingdoms platform, where you have to create your character and do some in-game interaction. Everything you've seen is described in detail in the link we'll put in the description. The tasks are currently finished, and all we have left to do is cross our fingers. Personally, I'm keeping an eye on Scroll because I see the team constantly working, and I like the way they release updates, and the Discord server is also kept very well. There are all the prerequisites to make the project go very well. We have come to the final goodbyes, guys. Thank you all for listening to the Club 100 show. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and if you did, I invite you to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell to be updated on all upcoming videos. If there are any specific topics you would like to hear about, please post them below in the comments. I would like to remind you that we have a completely free premium section in our Discord and Telegram channels where you can interact with lots of professional traders and where trading ideas and study paths are released completely free of charge. For those interested, there is a link in the description with all the specific information. That's all for this episode, folks. See you next time.